past couple of years, we've had several episodes about school safety here on the podcast. It's such an important topic. There is just so much responsibility on administrators and on teachers to protect their students from harm and to be prepared when something does happen. Tragic incidents at schools, they're horrible, they're heartbreaking, but they're compounded when they include unpreparedness and not knowing what to do, being disorganized, doing the wrong thing. Sandy, in your experience, what are some different ways to challenge school staff to be prepared, to get them thinking, not just to go through the drills, but to stop and think about what would I need to do in this scenario and how can I be ready? What do you recommend?
Okay, yeah, I'm glad you asked. So yes, just to circle back, yes, I do work for Active Defender. So the CEO, my boss, his name's Jim Boyd.
Yes.
He kind of, he opened my eyes with the stop and think like drill, right? So if you just imagine, right, if you're inside of your school, you're one of your administrators. So say right now it's 4:26. If we're inside of a school, if we hear a loud boom, what are we going to do? Right. So those are the kind of things and the kind of the mindsets that you have to get. What we always recommend is like, hey, like if you're at a school, just get on the intercom and say, hey, everyone, I want everyone to stop. And just think like, hey, if this were to happen, what would you do or where would you go? Right. So doing those different drills, just getting the mind thinking, that right there helps, 10 times. Right. So if your body and your mind thinks like, hey, if this incident happens, I at least know like I'm able to think through this and get myself to safety. Right. So it usually takes 2 to 3 minutes a day. I mean, not even a day, just 2 to 3 minutes to just actually do the drill, but significant improvement as far as like your mental aspect of your staff and students.
It seems like it would be that if you did those enough, as people, maybe they're out on the playground or they're out somewhere and they see a unique situation, then, their brain pops into, okay, what would I do? If that person walking by actually jumped the fence, what would I do? Or, so I like how you're kind of creating that habit by creating a very intentional environment for them to stop and think about a scenario.
Yes, ma'am.
Love that.
And then
yes.
We also, we know that whenever these things happen, right, the first people panic, right? So if we can just get 5 seconds for somebody to like, hey, this just happened, I can think and make a sound decision, right? So that is what truly helps save lives.
Yeah.
It's not
so
the
true.
panic, but can you stop for 5 seconds to make a sound decision for you,
Right.
And if it's teachers, for them and for the students also.
Yeah, and you can't assume that's just going to happen if you never practice it. So I love that. The first time we often find out how people will respond is in that type of situation. And we definitely don't want to find out
No,
how that
absolutely.
is for the first
But I
time.
mean, all the science and research shows like muscle memory is going to help you every time. Right. So as long as you practice that, as long as you're training your mind like, hey, I need to stop, I need to think, everything will work out the way it should.